Well, it's time for our very special guest. I'm happy to tell you over the last couple of years I've been able to establish a friendship. Somebody I first saw, maybe 8 or so years ago down on the beach with when Louis Palau had the big festival on the beach. And it's not usual that somebody from the entertainment world comes over and sees things on our side of the aisle. So it was interesting to kind of see her. And she's followed a very logical career path. She started on Saturday Night Live. She became a wife, a mother, and now a political activist. And I think everybody can see that path very clearly. So, had the opportunity to get to know her or meet her at a WorldNet Daily conference a few years ago down in Miami. Joseph Farah put on, and she spoke there. And we had the opportunity last year to spend a few days with a group in Washington, D.C. exploring our nation's heritage. So. You all know her, and she has a real heartfelt message, and I hope you'll listen very closely. Please welcome Victoria Jackson.
Thank you, Slade. He has a movie star name, Slade O'Brien. That's better than Jack Rambo, or Stone Phillips, Wolf Blitzer, Slade. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Anyway, well, I'm a beginner political activist, so I just got a lesson. Thank you for, I'm hungry for the meat. You know, like when I read the Bible, I want the meat of the word, and so I love to be around people like that who I can learn something from, like about the judges and everything. And my political awakening came in 2007 when my daughter got married, and my husband could retire from the Metro-Dade Police Department in Miami, where I've been raising my kids for 20 years, trapped in the suburbs. Well, not trapped, you know. I'm the perfect Christian wife and mother, so, you know. I gave up my career for my family. Thank you. But anyway, I wanted to try to get my career back one more time before I died. I know it's probably impossible. I'm 50 and 30 pounds overweight. And, you know, even Gilligan on Gilligan's Island only got one show, and he wasn't even fat. Like when he was 50. You know, like you only get one Gilligan's Island, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, my husband's like, Vicky, show business is a gamble. And I was like, I might not be going back for show business. I have this strong feeling that I should be there, and I don't know why. Maybe because it's a mission field. Do you want to let the little wild animals out? They might
let them out.
Strangling each other. I'm kid friendly. Hey,
Okay,
let's
come on, guys.
play.
We have a potty break.
Okay. Conservatives. Oh, I have so much to say, I don't know where to start. So anyway, I went back to LA, 2007. My husband and I were, I was going to tell you. My husband voted for Rick Scott, right? My husband's a political science major, and he knows everything about all this stuff. And he's getting $800 less a month in his salary because Rick Scott cut the police budget. And my husband's 30 years been risking his life on the SWAT team, and you know, now as a helicopter pilot to protect us from bad guys. And I go, Paul, when you voted for Rick Scott, did you know he was going to slash the cops' salaries? And he goes, yeah. And I go, and you voted for him anyway? He goes, yeah. He goes, it's not about me. And so that's integrity. You know, I really respect my husband. That's the way Americans used to be. And us few people, we can change the situation. You know, Jesus was one man, changed the world. There was 12 disciples. They changed the world. For my Jewish friends, they were all Jewish, so. So good. They're all Jewish. 12 men changed the world, okay? So basically, I'm not scared about being a minority. The right people are always the minority. The good people are always the minority. But anyway, so my husband has integrity, and he looks at the big picture, and he's like, we need to save money, we need to stop spending, okay, you know. But anyway, so I knew nothing about politics. When I was 37, I was walking by the TV where my husband was glued to Fox News, and I kept making fun of him. I'm like, oh, the news is so boring. You're so boring all the time. And I heard Clinton go, it depends what the meaning of the word is. And I was like, I did a double take, and I go, this country's being run by morons. I've got to get involved. So I said to my husband, where do I vote? And I was 37. I'm not proud to say, I'm embarrassed, but I was 37 and I'd never voted. And Al Franken, when I worked with him on Saturday Night Live, he said that when he grew up, around the dinner table, every night his family discussed politics. My family discussed gymnastics and the Bible. So I'm an expert in the Bible, I'm an expert in gymnastics. I can tell you how to do a tour jeté, but we never discussed politics. So, and so when I was 18, I said, Dad, who should I vote for? Because I'm 18 now. And he goes, anyone with an R next to their name. And I said, does that mean they're Christians? And he goes, no, but they're closer to the Bible than the D's. So, so I was like, okay, but then I didn't know where to go, whatever. So I say to my husband, so how do I vote? Where do I go? He goes, the Boy Scout Center. And I go, really? Is it in November or something? And then he goes, but you have to register. And I go, register? How do you register? What are you talking about? Register? So basically, I have empathy for other beginners, because basically, if no one tells you, I mean, I went to college and everything, but if no one tells you, you know. So I registered. And then I was just, distracted with other things. What happened was, when I went back to LA in 2007 with a strong urge, and I was trying to get an agent again, my friend said, why don't you go to this conservative secret underground group to network, because you can't be conservative in Los Angeles. They hate you. Christian conservatives super hate you. So I said, well, that's a good idea, because you have to network to get jobs. So I said, but I don't know anything about politics. And he goes, well, there's people there who are things like you. Okay. So I went there, and there was a table, about 40 people, and everyone was going around talking. And I said, well, I don't know anything about politics, but I'm a Christian, so I'm a conservative. I don't believe in abortion. Especially partial birth abortion. I don't know how anyone who says they're Christian could vote for, we're not allowed to say names here. How could they vote for a person who believes in killing a baby if it survives an abortion? Anyway, so I go, so I guess I'm a conservative. And so the next event they had was a screening of this movie called Blocking the Path to 9/11. And it was a documentary by Cyrus Nostrowath. And it was describing how he had made the documentary The Path to 9/11. And the Clintons had so much power that they had a scene taken out of it that made Clinton look bad. The scene where Clinton didn't answer the phone when the military had Osama bin Laden in their sights. And the Clintons had that taken out of the movie. And then they had the movie shelved permanently. And I was thinking, that's communism. We can't have documentaries where a politician has so much power they can shelf it or take a scene out of it. And then I was at the next meeting, a little more informed, and then I heard two people saying, there's someone running for president who's left of Hillary. Now I was thinking, how am I going to get people not to vote for Hillary? She's a socialist. She stopped the truth from being told, and I'm thinking, I got to tell people not to vote for Hillary. And I go, there's this guy running for president who's left of Hillary. And I'm like, what? What would be left of Hillary? That would be communism. So I all of a sudden remembered when I was in 12 at Dade Christian School, and we had to read 1984 by George Orwell. And I remember our teacher said, communism will take over America, but it won't be by force because we have the Second Amendment. It will be from within, with the breakup of the family unit, and by sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Immorality, sin, a little word no one knows anymore, but S-I-N, but anyway. And so I was like, it happened. It happened in my lifetime. Between the age of 12 and 50, there's a communist running for president. And so this fire just ignited inside of me. And I was like, we have to tell people. And so then the TV wasn't telling anyone. Mainstream media wasn't telling anyone. And I got another movie from Citizens United, and it was called Hype. And it showed Obama's past, and it showed all of his evil friends, his radicals, Bill Ayers, Jeremiah Wright, the RevCo guy, and his Marxist professors. Of course, we know a lot more proof now that he's a communist than we did in 2007, but it was enough. And I gave it to my agent, and she dropped me. And basically, she sent me a mean email that said something about, oh, I didn't know I'm supposed to tell you my political beliefs. I thought she was going to send me an email and say, thank you so much. I'm going to tell everyone I know. You know, why is somebody angry if I'm trying to share truth with them? I have nothing to gain or lose whether he wins or loses. I don't care. I care about truth. Why would she be mad at me? If a liberal would give me one good reason why socialized medicine is good, I'll go for it. Or if someone would tell me a country that actually, you know, was successful with socialism or communism, I'll be one. But, you know, it's like intellectual curiosity is missing. And our schools have brainwashed this generation into secular humanism and into socialism and dumb them down. They're idiots. And so, anyway, there's so many issues, but what I love about Americans for Prosperity is they reduce it to like, let's just put all these issues aside and just talk about one thing, the economy. If we all go bankrupt, which is looming, and we're in bread lines or starving or begging the government for bread, then we don't have the energy to talk about whether abortion or gay marriage is, you know. So I think that's very smart that AFP kind of consolidated. Let's just get our budget under control and then worry about everything else. Actually, I wrote a song. I'm just working on a song. Free enterprise leads to prosperity. Free enterprise leads to prosperity. What's the opposite of free enterprise? Oh, government regulation leads to death, and I will keep saying this until my last breath. I'm working on it. Free enterprise leads to prosperity. Everybody, free enterprise leads to prosperity. That's my new song I'm working on. But I met Slade at HB 7117. We were fighting that. Now, I'm a beginner political activist, but when someone told me that the government was getting involved in the corn, gas, ethanol thing, excuse me, free enterprise, you can't have government controlling and picking the winners and the losers. That's communism, actually. And so, so I'm very, very angry about government regulations. I went to Grand Junction, Colorado for a tea party. We actually prayed 2 Chronicles 7:14 on our knees, because I've always had this fantasy of having every tea party on their knees, because that's how desperate this is right now. And we were outside in the park on our knees, and I spent, you know, a couple of days there, and everything's closed down because the government won't let them get the gas, the natural gas, out of the ground that God gave us. And I know we have enough energy in our country, under the ground, oil and gas and coal, to survive the next, what, till
100 years.
At least 100, I've heard 400, and we can work on the windmills, and we can work on the solar panels, and get them really good while we're burning up the coal. Duh! It's so simple!
Yes.
I can understand it, and I'm a beginner political activist. So, is she a liberal? Yes? No?
I used to be an American for Prosperity before you started talking.
Oh, what did I say wrong?
Nothing. All right.
Slade, did I say something wrong?
No.
Oh, okay. So, no, I'm just telling the truth.
Fine.
Yeah, I researched it.
All right.
So anyway, so see, we have to educate people.
That's
And-
it. That's it. I need education.
Yes, you seriously, because the
I understand. It's
the
okay.
media doesn't tell anyone. So then what happened was I was going to go on O'Reilly. I called him up and I go, nobody's telling America the truth. And so they put me on. My husband goes, oh, what are you going to say? And I go, well, he interrupts everybody. I'm only going to get to say one sentence. And like, I can't go into the fact that he, his church of, 20 years preached black liberation theology, which is Marxism disguised as religion. I can't go into the fact that he taught a course on Saul Alinsky, Rules for Radicals. I can't go into that. I hadn't memorized yet the book, The Manchurian President by Aaron Klein, which tells you 400 pages of proof that he is a radical communist who's trying to fundamentally change America from free enterprise and capitalism, the American dream, into socialism, where everyone gets the same everything, and you can't have success like that, because nobody will have motivation to get up in the morning if the guy who does nothing is going to make the same amount of money as the guy who works 12 hours a day. But anyway, so my husband goes, Vicki, don't say Obama's a communist. People will think you're nuts. And I go, but he is. My husband was like, so I go, I'm only going to get this in one sentence. How can I wrap up all these issues in one sentence? So I said it, and O'Reilly made fun of me. And it's on YouTube, you can see. But I have been proven right. And it's really fun for me to see all these books coming out. The Roots of Obama's Rage by Dinesh D'Souza, the new movie coming out 2016. You gotta see it, by Dinesh D'Souza. These are smart guys. And all of these books are coming out proving I was right. Frank Marshall Davis was his childhood mentor. For like 8 years, Obama was getting brainwashed into this philosophy. He was raised in Indonesia, and he's not an American in his heart, and he wants to bring America down to a third world country to be equal with all the other countries. That's worldwide socialism. Agenda21today.com. Go there. Basically, the New World Order, that's the goal of Hillary and Obama and Wasserman Schultz. And what they don't understand is the poor people have a way better life when they have opportunity. Instead of being kept poor with welfare, be given opportunity so that you can be anything you want in America. And that's how I grew up. And I grew up with free speech, so I'm not going to quit talking. Yeah, even though they're trying to censor us, and I just found out Obama signed an executive order on December 31st. 2011, the NDAA, that will you can indefinitely hold an American citizen with no cause. Okay, he signed in March an executive order that gave the government control over all the farms and all the food. It's just slip. Oh yeah, look it up online. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
What's this?
I don't know what the
There's an
actual
official
number of the
word
order
for it,
was,
but it's March.
he can basically declare an emergency and take a...
Yeah, if he can declare an emergency, which is what we're all kind of suspicious that he might do before the election, is some new fake crisis come up that will indefinitely postpone the election. So we're ready for all of his tricks. Remember the flu crisis? Oh, such a crisis. What happened? Remember the oil crisis? We have to stop drilling for oil because the oil spill. Remember all these fake crises? Remember when Biden said we shouldn't fly anymore publicly because of that flu crisis?
Right.
One after another. Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky. They're trying to make these fake crises so that we'll have to lean on the government. I'm not buying it, and I'm not an expert, but I'm educating myself. And the only way I can find the truth is the internet, a little bit of Fox, and conservative talk radio, and these books. And when the government tries to limit the internet, which they're trying to do, and the radio, then we'll have to have an underground communication system. But just go to Miami and ask people who've escaped communism what it's like and why they risk their lives coming to Miami on rafts. Because I was born in '59, and my city turned into Cuba because they risked their lives to get away from communism, socialism. So, so you want me to sing my song now?
Sure.
Did I leave out anything? Oh, well, let's see. That's how I got started. I went to the first Tea Party in LA. I'm very excited to see my fellow cast members from Saturday Night Live slowly coming out of the closet. Dennis Miller became a conservative, I think around 9/11. John Lovitz voted for Obama and is a Democrat, and he's on TV screaming against him. And then Dana Carvey is just coming out of the closet, I've noticed recently. And I was keeping this name of this secret group in LA a secret. This underground group, it grew from 2 people to 2,000 people in the last 3 years, over 2,000 people in the last 3 years. And a lot of people will lose their career if they come out of the conservative closet. So I'm not telling anyone the name. Then I turn on Fox News 2 nights ago. Kelsey Grammer's on O'Reilly going, yes, I belong to FOA, Friends of Abe, our secret group. I'm like, I guess it's not a secret, you know? So anyway, so, you know, Kelsey, he won't lose his career because he doesn't ever have to work again. He's set for life, so he can be an outspoken conservative, and I can't because I have no Hollywood work, so I can't get fired because I'm not on anything. It seems these days okay, so I wrote this song because I know a lot of people won't read or listen to conservatives. And so I wrote this so that maybe I could trick them into the beautiful music, and then they could get all these facts in the center of the beautiful. You should sing my song because your voice is prettier. It seems these days I'm in a haze and I can't concentrate on things, can't eat or sleep, feel incomplete and kind of scared and creepy. I look over my shoulder lots and shudder when I watch TV. I bite my nails and cuticles and watch my words very carefully. Remember flag at whitehouse.gov? I was doing a stand-up gig around 2009, and Obama put out a thing that said, everybody report your friends and neighbors who disagree with Obamacare to flag at whitehouse.gov. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, excuse me? Is this the KGB? Is this the thought police from George Orwell's 1984? You expect me to report my friends and neighbors who don't like Obamacare to whitehouse.gov? So I reported myself twice. I did. And now I get emails from the White House all the time. I just got a form well, they're like mass mailings. I just got invited to the DNC by Michelle Obama. I'm going. I'm going.
Bring that.
And I'm going. And I'm going to say, why do you want to destroy the American dream? And by the way, having a baby is not a burden, okay? That's another thing Obama said. I bite my lip a lot and fidget with the buttons on my blouse. Why? Because there's a communist living in the White House. Why aren't people shocked or something? Why aren't people up in arms? Does anyone read history or see red flags or hear alarms? The streets are filled with deaf and dumb as I squeak like a mouse. There's a communist living in the White House. My husband really misses me. My parents think I've gone crazy. Only Glenn Beck understands me, and of course Sean Hannity and Huckabee. But you know, besides those 3 and the sweet people who drink the tea, there is no one else who can see the communists living in the White House. Now, you may say, do I have any facts to support my supposition? I'll say, well, where do I start? His mother was a communist. His father, whichever one he is, Frank Marshall Davis or the Kenyan guy, they were both communists. His grandparents were communists. Actually, their church in Hawaii sheltered Vietnam draft dodgers, Unitarian thing. He had Marxist professors, taught a course on Saul Alinsky. He, on the campaign trail, said to Joe the plumber, "Spread the wealth," which is a direct quote from the Communist Manifesto written by Karl Marx and that other guy. His Church of 20 Years, preached by Jeremiah Wright, taught black liberation theology, which is Marxism disguised as religion. He, let's see, he was friends with William Ayers. Frank Marshall Davis was a childhood mentor. He was a very outspoken communist. When he became president, he appointed Van Jones as the Green Jobs Czar. Well, Van Jones was a very outspoken communist. I don't think a capitalist would elect a communist as a advisor. And then, of course, he has Valerie Jarrett and all these other communists. And let's see, when he got into office, he took over the banks and the cars and healthcare. And what else? Am I leaving anything out? Well, all the facts are in those books I told you. The Roots of Obama's Rage, the Manchurian president, forgetting the rest. Is that enough proof? Maybe I have lost my mind or have been drugged by some narcotic. Maybe I'm in a movie called 1984. I'm just idiotic, but if I'm in a dream, fast asleep, I think I will just try to keep my eyes shut till this goes away, and I awake to a happier day when my ukulele does not play this song of dire distress and dismay. This song called "There's a Communist Living in the White House." Everybody, there's a communist living in the White House.